Hello, business communication class. This is Dr. Seiwert checking in on our, looks like, second week of 8. So things go fast in this class. You might have noticed the way I've set it up. It shows 16 modules, but we do 2 modules a week. So just keep that in mind when you're planning out your assignments for the week. So this week we're looking at about 3 chapters, and I find these chapters are the meat really of a lot of business communication, and that is how to write a business communication. And some of the items that I've pulled out, we want to plan our writing, or I'm going to talk about emails, let's just specifically. We want to plan what we write a little bit. Most of the time, we want to analyze what we're doing for this email or letter, and we want to organize our thoughts and focus on what it is that we're really trying to say. If we say too many things about different subjects, then the whole message is lost. So the more specific you can be in emails or other kinds of communication, it's best just for the person receiving the communication. Really, for yesterday when I was over at the campus, I had some emails that really went into so many subjects. I was like, okay, I don't know which one you want. So I'll just try to handle each one in a different way, because it didn't seem like they all flowed together, which that in my mind seemed the best thing to do. So hopefully your emails don't get that way, but I think if you plan what you're going to say and kind of analyze and organize it, and then make sure you have the focus on what the actual item is for action or what you need to say, and just think about it a little bit. And you're going to look at your audience too. Most time we're going to look at probably business people if we're in a business environment. But sometimes, I have to write to students. I write to people who are the book vendors. I write to people that are helping me as far as leadership skills, just all kinds of different, really, venues that I'm writing to. So I'm going to write to my person who's my book person, probably a little more concise, to the point, and not be chatty than I would maybe the person that sits next to me in my office. So maybe with her, I'll be a little more chatty, and then I'll have a small message. So it's always best, I think, to just go ahead and be very professional, and you can't go wrong with that. So your audience etiquette, and one thing that's kind of interesting is it talks about positives, like, I can't get this done today. I have too much to do. Okay, that kind of turns me off if I would hear that. But could you say maybe, well, I will get to that as soon as I have some other items finished. And I'd think, okay, good. I know I'm at least on the list. So, that gives me some hope. So, when you model these messages, it is nice to have a positive message and not just, tell somebody no, 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 because nobody wants to hear that, right? Maybe there will be a no, but maybe save it and not do it all the time. So one of the things I found interesting is people read their messages on smartphones, which that would be me. I have my phone with me all the time. And if I'm going to look at a long email, that is not going to be good for me on a smartphone. I have to get to a computer or laptop to look at it, because I'd be like, no, I don't have the attention span. I mean, to me, when I'm on my smartphone, it's like, oh, let me look at one thing, let me look at another. Okay, I got your drift. I'll do this now, versus, oh, I got a list. I better go sit down and actually accomplish this list that I have to get done on an email. So it is interesting to think that your audience will be looking at their smartphones for a lot of the material that you send. So, um, I don't know if you need to take into account that necessarily, but if you have a short message, yay. If you have a longer one, they're just going to have to go to something that's a little more substantial, like their desktop or their laptop. But it was interesting to think that, a lot of communication is done with smartphones, because I certainly understand that, and I do that all the time. So, lastly, we want to talk about editing and proofreading, because wow, do I hate to get something that has like words that are misspelled. And I hate to get something that sounds jumbled, because then my mind goes, what? So um, make sure, just in your general studies and anything you're doing at work, that you are proofreading and editing. One of the things I find when I edit is I can probably eliminate a lot of stuff because I'm rambling on. So, sometimes less words are better than more. I just want to get to the point in probably the path of least resistance. And then definitely you're going to proofread. It seems so boring, but on Word you can do it. It's got a proofread and to see what your words are. I would certainly do it. I even get words that I'm like, oh wow, I did that wrong. But I'm usually proofreading over and over and over an email, particularly until I send it, because that's going to have a life out there forever. And if I have one email that has a misspelled word, I don't know, that reflects on me, and I don't like that. So I'm not saying it won't ever happen, because most likely it will. But do proofread your work. Proofread, anything that you're doing in school, in your work, and it's amazing when you start doing that. That's like, oh wow, I did that. At least I got it and corrected it. So anyway, I find business communication skills are the fundamentals, really, of going into a business and being successful. We have found that many people that get hired in places don't have these skills. They have some skills, and they get on a computer. They might be able to write an email, or they may be able to write a document. But as far as doing anything else, I think that employers are going to expect us to go beyond, what they do, maybe at least. So I think these are good chapters as we're learning and just figuring out what we should do when we write and how we should write. So I hope that you're getting some valuable skills out of this. Every time I go over it, I just kind of reaffirm what I do too, and it's a good lesson for me. So anyway, I think you guys have done really good work so far. Thank you for being prompt and getting your assignments in. And have a good weekend. I shall talk to you next week. Goodbye.